JHK here for Sportskeeda, and today is joining me UFC middleweight prospect Tafon Nchukwi. Tafon the Don, what's going on, man? It's good to see your face again.
Hey man, thanks for having me back on here again. Everything is going pretty well, just getting ready for the next one.
For sure, for sure. Before we
How are
get
you
into
doing?
that, let's talk about. Oh, I'm doing good, man. Let's talk about UFC 261, man. It was a crazy night. I know you're watching. And Chris
That
Weidman,
was
man,
hard
you're
right
you're a
there.
middleweight. Chris Weidman's a middleweight. He's one of the top guys, man. When that transpired, how did you react to it?
Man, I could not watch that. I had to turn away like most people had to, because that right there is very scary. And to have that kind of image in your head while getting, I mean, it's already in my head now. I mean, it was, I wasn't, nobody was expecting something like that. Like, it's just a very scary thought to have in your head, man. And it's a very rare thing to happen. And I mean, it is part of the game.
Also, it's just a reminder, you know what I mean, to the fans that what kind of sacrifices these fighters make. You know what I mean? What kind of, dangers there are in the sport, because sometimes they take that for granted.
Definitely, man. You see, that's the thing we accept every time we step into that cage, man, because you never know what's gonna happen. And he just had to be unfortunate that that happened to him at that time. And I know he definitely did a whole camp, trained, did a sacrifice a lot just to make it there for that to happen. So I definitely feel for him, and I wish him a speedy recovery for sure.
Yeah, man, me too, man. It's just, yeah, just him and his family, everything is just bad circumstances. Now, you went to the last time we spoke, it was before your Contender Series fight. You go in there, phenomenal knockout. You get the contract. After the show, Dana White comes out and says, "Man, this guy, he reminds me of Mike Tyson, man. How do you react to that?"
Man, that was the best thing ever, man. It was like, dang, because after that comment, everybody was like hitting me up, telling me, I'm like, man, you see this? I just saw this article that wrote about you. I was like, wow, and that was a very like inspiring thing for him to say about me, and definitely a boost to my goals to meet what he sees in me, and definitely ignited some more fuel in me, and making sure I get to the top. Can't slack at all.
Yeah, you can, and yeah, it is always good to get a boost to from the boss himself. You know what I mean? It's very rare to see that.
Yes, definitely, definitely.
You go in there, man, 3 months later and make your UFC debut at middleweight. A lot of people, I think they were surprised by that, because you did fight at light heavyweight. You went in there, you still had a great performance. Going from 205 to 185 is not an easy task. So talk about the sacrifices you made during that training camp to be at your best that night.
And definitely it was a lot, man. I love food. I love not not having to sacrifice my food just for a fight. Being used to that coming up from heavyweight, then going down to 205. 205, I mean, it was still a process, but like once I decided to make that transition to 185, man, it was a whole different level, whole different ball game. Relationship with food definitely had to change. Just understanding. I mean, and it was good too. Made it easier because I had professionals like the Lockhart crew, man. Those people, they know they have this thing down to a science. So being around them, absorbing all that information, and just now just being disciplined and making sure I stick to it. Because man, I tell you, I just want to reach over right now and grab whatever is in the kitchen. Cause my mom is always cooking, but I'm at the point now. I'm almost there. But even after the fight, that's another thing too. This is like a whole lifestyle change. It's not just like okay, we're gonna do this when I got to fight and all that. I can't. I have to change that whole mindset too. So that's a whole another thing. Because this year I'm planning to be as busy as I can be. So I need to be in the right weight to where I can just make that weight whenever and not be a struggle. And then when people like you try to talk to me, it's not like I don't feel it's not like a drag, because that it does take a toll on your body too sometimes mentally.
The climb you've made, man, it's been so fast. You know what I mean? Like I remember talking to you maybe like 18 months ago around that time, and or was it a year ago? I don't remember, man. But it's
Damn, it's a year ago now, huh?
yeah, the
Dang.
first time, yeah, ahead of your like before even like talking about your Contender Series when the pandemic
Yeah, yeah,
started and you were like
exactly,
sitting around and there was nothing really to do. You couldn't train really, and
exactly.
yeah, and all you did was basically you were running, and now you're like you're in the UFC, full-time athlete, you know what I mean? You have to maintain your weight. It's a whole different challenge, right?
Yeah, it definitely is, man. I mean, it's like it's crazy, like you said. Like that only a year ago, I was just sitting here still contemplating about the contender series, and then now we being here. Sometimes hearing you say that, it's like, damn, yeah, I am a UFC fighter. It's like, I mean, a lot of challenges on the way. I mean, it's going to be a whole lot more challenges, but I'm willing to. This is the path I chose, and I'm willing to stay in there and take it all the way.
With the performance that you had, how did you feel inside the cage? The speed, the power.
I mean, I felt pretty good. It's just I mean, I went in there looking to go to get the finish and all that, but being different weight classes, those people, I mean, my body was still trying to adjust to it a little bit, and I mean, I still felt pretty good. It's just that I didn't get the results I wanted, but I learned a lot from that fight, though. It's just um, being that I went 3 rounds. Now I have a lot more footage to watch of myself, which I definitely made sure I did after. Learned that a lot of things that I do, I get too excited in opportunities for the finish. And I've learned that now I just got to take my time, be more patient. I mean, it's going to come regardless. I mean, I see the opening, don't mean I got to go for it right away. I mean, that's why this next fight, I'm going to show out a little bit, the different side of me. Y'all going to see a little bit more. I mean, I'm always patient in there. I'm always calm, patient, and all that, but it's going to be a different level of patience. I'm going to pick that man apart and still get that finish. You can't get used to that 3-round war all the time.
Yeah, when you look back at it, and I was watching your post-fight interview, and it was like something about you putting back on 40 pounds, and
Oh,
all my years, man, watching and covering the sport, I don't think I've ever heard that from a fighter. Was that a
yeah.
calculated move?
Nah, that wasn't like I kind of misspoke at the time because of how I was feeling after the fight and how I was looking. After I went back into my room and I weighed myself and I was still just 220. It wasn't anything crazy like I thought it was. Yeah, but at that time I was just speaking about it, but they definitely came after me for that. I was like, damn, okay. But yeah, I kind of exaggerated that in my head. So once I weighed myself, I saw it was two like 220. Not even, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, I don't think that would have. If I was 240, I don't know if I would have gotten in there with a gut. I would have been super slow. But next time, I'm definitely not gonna try to even make it up to 220. I'm gonna stick down to 215 because
Yeah,
once I could eat, man, I was eating everything.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
just felt like I was kind of like super bloated. But
I'm
I learned
glad
from
I'm
that.
glad you could clear that up because a lot of people probably saw that and they're just like, "What? That's insane." You know what I mean? Like to put on
Yeah,
that much.
yeah, that wouldn't have been. Well, I'm glad that it wasn't that wasn't the case because
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't have performed as well either.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So when you look back at everything that you went through for your first fight in the UFC, what are the adjustments you're making during this camp to make it easier?
One of the biggest adjustments is just well, like I said, being more disciplined with like my relationship with food. Just trying to watch what I'm eating, when I'm eating it, know what I'm supposed to eat at what times and all of that. And then also I've added a whole lot more to my game as well. Just like y'all gonna see some stuff. And then another thing too, like another big thing for me is just like being more patient and trying not to jump at every opportunity to put them out. Try not to power everything. Take my time, just touch and pick them apart, play around a little bit more. So that's a little bit more of what you guys are gonna see when I get in there.
You've had a lot of knockouts so far in your career. Was the expectation of a finish, does that ever weigh heavy on you during like a fight or leading up to a fight?
I wouldn't say way heavy because I'm always going in there anyways looking for a finish myself, even though it's like it shouldn't be for now. From my understanding now, it's like I shouldn't be like that all the time. But for me, it's just always been like when I get in there, I'm trying to put my hands on you and put you out. So uh, that I wouldn't say it's ever weighed heavy on me because of other people's expectation. It's also my expectation to go in there and always finish. So I'm perfectly fine with the expectations of or everybody was expecting me to finish.
Team Lloyd Irving, man, you got a small core group with you, a couple guys there that are helping you for this camp. Talk about the individuals.
Yeah, I got a lot of people helping me. Like the biggest part, Master Lloyd, the one who was always there and leading us. and he always like brings in whatever he feels we lack. He brings in experts just to help us focus on that part, like our kicks, our hands. He brings in boxers, wrestlers, so everything we need. Then we got our teammates there, man. I have the best teammates ever, man. They always keep me on track. Got Sadiq, Pete, Ron Stallings, Shelton Graves, so many others I could name too. Just like everybody's just super supportive, always there, ready to help each other out. So it's like a very good environment to be around. And like, yeah, man, I get to be around, hang around these guys, and they help me get ready for whatever situation I need. You know?
Definitely. And also, if people want to get a more of an inside peek into what you're doing and the people around you, they could go to your YouTube page to find the
Yeah,
Don,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Yeah,
subscribe.
yep. Exactly. Yeah, man. I'm trying to put out more content out there and stuff. Try to spread out a little bit more avenues and stuff. Let people know a little bit more about myself and everything. I mean, I'm trying, but schedule. Uh, but if definitely, they can definitely check out the videos. I plan on dropping out some more too. So trying
Yeah.
to be like you, man. You're out here killing the game.
Hey, I'm trying to, man. I don't think I'm doing that much, but yeah, trying to do it. That's the it's I know it's hard, man, to film stuff. It seems like it's easy, but it's not easy, man.
Nah, filming and then you gotta edit it and
Yeah,
then put it out, all that stuff. And yeah, you know the way. If you've been doing this a whole lot longer than me.
yeah, I do. So I could appreciate, the content that you put out and the edits and
Thank you.
everything. Now,
Thank you.
May 8th, man, you make your return. You're going to Las Vegas. You're facing Jun Yong Park. When you got the name on the contract, did you immediately know who this guy was?
No, not immediately. I actually had to do my research, look him up a little bit just to see who it is. I mean, and yeah. I was excited to step back in there, but I didn't really know who he was right off the name.
So after you checked him out, what I mean, what was your overall thoughts on him and the style of fighting that he brings?
Overall thoughts, man. It's just, I mean, I know he definitely he's someone who he got some stand up, and he also has some grappling. And it seems like he's recently more so been working more so on his grappling for his last two fights, from at least what I've seen. And yeah, he's pretty strong on the ground. So I mean, I'm definitely been working a lot on making sure I'm not vulnerable in any of those spots. So definitely not gonna underestimate any of my opponents. Like I always say, man, everybody who stands in front of me, they're gonna get 100% of me. He's gonna get 100% of me May 8th.
When you compare him to Jamie Pickett, do you see a more difficult task, a more difficult fighter to figure out?
Compared to Jamie Pickett, I would say maybe so because I would say more so on the experience because I feel like Park has probably had a whole lot more experience than Jamie Pickett would have had, so he'd probably be a whole lot more comfortable in there, and I definitely gonna have to watch out for that. And he has probably a lot more tools too. If, so that would be if I put them against each other. I'll say yeah, June might Park. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying his first name right, but yeah, he might have a little bit more over on Jamie, experience wise.
For sure. Like his last fight, I think he broke the middleweight record for strikes landed on the ground.
Yeah, definitely. I saw that.
Yeah.
He won't be catching me on the ground. But yeah, definitely. It seems like a pretty good, cool guy too, though.
hmm
Pretty nice, chill. But once you get in there, we all have our little. Once we step in that cage, be somebody else. So once
Yeah,
we get in there, we gonna clash, and I feel like I'm gonna come out on top for sure.
for sure. Now, after, going to the decision for the first time in your career in your last fight, I guess the expectations for you is to go in there and get a finish, but how do you see a finish? Do you envision that? Are you a guy that envisions fights?
Yeah. Now I'm also working on like trying to be more envisioning like my fights before I get in there. Trying to work more on visualizing my fights, so when I get in there, things are a whole lot more simpler. I mean, I've heard a lot of people recommend that to me, so I'm like, okay, you know what, let me try it out. And what I envision this one is I feel like second round, once I get in there, the first round, we get a nice little filler round, and then pick them apart a little bit. Second round, then I get in there and have my way. That's my prediction.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. When you look at yourself in the mirror, we can see it visually. Like you're just way more ripped. You know what I mean? Like your body is like, do you? If I was having that body, what I mean, I'd be very proud of myself. You know what I mean? The sacrifice is worth it sometimes. Visually at
Yeah,
least.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, when I look at myself now, it's like, man, dang, maybe I should have been doing this since my whole life, man. Because it's like that high school, I could have been a killer, man. Because like I see my body now, I'm like, dang, this is what I'm like actually capable of. This is what like my performance now is like a whole lot more on the whole different level. Because my body is also adjusted too to being in this frame compared to like when I was just doing it off of the first time. And I feel like if I'm able to keep this level of discipline and stay here, oh my gosh, once I've completely locked into this frame, everybody gonna be in trouble. They gonna be in trouble. Well, they already in trouble,
Mhm.
but it's just a thing now about me just keeping that oh, sorry about that, just keeping this weight down and
Mhm.
staying there, becoming more comfortable.
The point is to not have the weight be an issue and just be like, oh, it's just a normal thing now, right? And you're not really worried
Exactly.
about it. It's something that's second nature. It's in the subconscious, and you're on your way
Yeah.
to doing it, man. But the door is still open to light heavyweight. I think. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely. Look, man. I'm telling you this right now. At 185, yeah, definitely true. I want to be pulling up on fight week, not having to worry about starving myself and all that. But 205 is definitely still going to be there because that's probably going to be where I'm be walking around at anyways, like around 25, 205, 210, you know? So if the opportunity slips up and be like, hey, yo, we need you out here, I'm going to definitely show up. 205ers, y'all still not safe. I'm going to keep saying this. But for now, 185ers, they're the one in trouble.
Of course, the 185 is a process, and you mentioned earlier that you want to be very active. How active do you want to be this year?
I'm hoping, I'm hoping to get as many as I can by the end of this year, because next year I want people to have my name in people's mouths.
Mhm.
Especially since Dana made the comments last night talking about UFC Africa. Hey,
Yeah,
guess who trying to be on there? This
yeah,
guy. Hey,
yeah.
so yeah, yeah. So right now, hopefully at least I could try to get four.
Mm,
Well, I want to say at least. It's not like the way it was during the COVID times,
yeah.
when the early COVID times when you can just pick up fights as much as you want.
Mm.
Well, I hope it is. So I'm looking to at least 3 to 4. Let's say that before the end of the year. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, because I'm gonna be ready.
Where do you want to be in the division by the end of 2021? Let's say you do get 3 fights in.
Like I'm saying, I want to be in the talks to like fighting somebody like up there,
Mm,
top 15.
mm,
If I can get somehow, get that quick boost, and if things keep progressing the way they're progressing, and we
yeah.
talking about top 10, hey, I'm with it.
Mm.
I like being optimistic, and I'm gonna just gonna wish things into existence, or is it wish it or will it to existence?
Will it to
So by
existence?
2020, yeah, to 2022, yes, definitely trying to be in the talks in there to competing with people in the higher ranks. You gotta climb through it.
Yeah, you moved to the U.S. at a young age, and there, like you said, Dana White's talking about going to Africa for the first time in the history of the promotion next year. Man, how incredible would that be just to return as this like success story, man? For real, like success story.
Hey, that would be a marvelous sight, man. 'Cause that's why I got gift props to all the other Africans, like fighters who have already like paved the way. Like Kamara last night out there showed out for the showed out for Africa. All those guys who are out there who have led the wave to make this thing kind of possible. And I'm looking to also be join them in their ranks to be one of the ones inspiring our people back home, showing them that we can definitely be more than what we came from. So I'm looking forward to that card, 2022 UFC Africa, the Dawn.
it, you see, envision, man. Like you said,
Yes,
will it to,
envisioning, man.
yeah,
Put it there in lights
yeah,
on the Dawn.
for
Main event,
sure.
co-main event. Let me not cite. Let me not. Let me. I'm getting too far ahead of
Yeah.
myself, but yeah, we're gonna see.
Yeah, man. You never know, man. This world of MMA, it's so
Yes.
fast. that you never know what can happen within a year. But before we get into all that, man, May 8th, you go to Las Vegas,
May 8th.
UFC, fight night, your
Mhm.
return to action.
Yes,
Tafon,
sir.
always good catching up with you, man. I always appreciate the
Yeah.
time and all the best to you.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me on here again, man. I appreciate it. And I sorry for all the late responses. I mean, uh, it's all good. We're gonna get back with I'm gonna get back on here again for sure. Higher energy next time.